Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, hope the weekend's going great. English am so hard. It's showtime. Hi guys, back again. More Guild Wars. Just Guild Wars, not Guild Wars 2. Not even Guild Wars 1, because you don't have to say Guild Wars 1. There's Guild Wars, and then Guild Wars 2. Find Orion in Wizard's Folly, and convince him to come home. Wizard's Folly. We are looking for Orion. He has a star on his belt. So, much to my shock and surprise, having come up with my clever, mildly sort of clever name, for a Necro Monk combo character of a Necronk, I did a Google search for Guild Wars. This way then, I guess. For Guild Wars and Guild Wars Necronk. None. I have invented an entire thing all by myself. I came up with a word. I am hopeful now that at some time in the future, all the Guild Wars players will go, yeah, I made it in a Necronk. Yeah, I don't know. Some genius came up with the name. It's pretty good, isn't it? Yeah, I got to give him credit for that, but the name is pretty good. I mean, I'm certain that's going to happen. I'm pretty certain that's going to happen. It's not. Oh, come back here, you bandit blood-sworn you. Come on, come on. Oh, okay. No. Oh, and we have a bear. And a bear pelt. We already had a bear pelt. We finished that quest. Fat Body! Good evening. How are all of the Fat Body things? I hope they are awesome. Hope the weekend is good. Low stress. Entertaining. Maybe some delicious food. I'm always pro delicious food. No, how about that's all right. The Bloodsworn. We want the Bloodsworn. We're gonna aggro it. Yes, we are. How about we knock it out? Impy is the best pet ever. I just need one more pet so I can name him Ren, and we'll have Ren and Impy. No. Let's see. We have a hidden stash that's out in the open. How can it be hidden? It's literally out in the open. Hand axe, short sword. Nah, not worth clogging up the inventory for, I think. Get him, Impy. I mean, we could just go with Stimpy for the imp. But that just, it sounds a little bit dismissive. Oh, we have, once again, irritated a bear. We have irritated multiple bears. Multiple bears, handle it! Hard apple cider, I think. Suddenly I'm feeling a little parched. How about a little hard apple cider? I think so. We have a bandit raider. Might as well get rid of him. And he's been gotten rid of. No idea how far I'm going to have to go to get to this person we're looking for. Orion. I know something's on his belt, but I can't remember what. Old guy movie reference. Get him, Stimpy. Oh, charming. My imp had decided to run off on his own. Kids, you know, you just can't rely on them. They're always running off on their own. We've got another bear incoming. Fine. There's... oh, Orion. Well, that would be the person we're looking for. Elec. Named after the elephants in WoW, obviously. Probably not. How dare you come here and threaten me? Don't think I'm afraid of you, but I see no reason to kill you now. Perhaps you have something of value to say. State your business quickly. What's this? Vassar is at the fair, cozying up to Ralinal? Curse the day I was born. What am I doing? The revolution will have to wait. Return to Sandra Elec for your reward. She is not there. I'm going to try and see if I can't get a waypoint over there in Green Hills County. Because that would be helpful for getting around. Teleporting about. All of that foo-for-raw. So, Foible's Fair in Wizard's Folly, but there is another entrance point, I guess, to that matter. I do want something in Green something, whatever it is. Green Hills County. Green something county. Lots of bandits about. Well, I can always just murder some bandits, you know. It'll be fine. They'll be dead. So it won't be fine for them. It'll be fine for me. Farming pre-searing days. This brings you back. Yeah, I'm just doing a little leveling up because I'm enjoying the... What happened to my imp? Guess imps don't move between maps. Okay, lesson learned. He's back. Hey, Stimpy. Let's hit the other one first. Worn belt, because we already have a stack of those. Pumpkin pie, because pie? That seems very seasonal, you know. We are heading into the time of the pumpkin pie. It will be interesting to see how the numbers change on the 3rd. How many new players come in with the Reforged. Sit down, fool. Not you guys. The bad man. Is there, in point of fact, since I actually have this book, is there actually a waypoint in Green Hills County? Kingdom of Aston, Green Hills County. Wizard's Folly, we came in. I don't see one, but then I'm not finding the maps especially communicative. It's a Prima guide. They can't all be winners. Also, I've got to say, the white on black, the dark mode that they have chosen for the Prima guide is really awesome. Oh, we've got the Raider. Let's take the Raider first. And now we've got the fire starter. Alright, so that's the other way from Wizard's Folly. It's an aloe seed. Hello, hello, hello. I know. Such a child. Well, there appear to be a lot of bandits around there. Nothing else of any significance other than banditos. So, do you think the bandits just sort of like work in a circular mechanic where they steal from each other constantly? I'm not sure that's a sustainable business model. That's all I have to say. Oh, we have a stash. An unhidden stash. I have to be clear. It's really not hidden. It's right there. Oh, and a fire starter. Now, magical longbow. We'll take that. That'll be worth a little bit of cash money, you know? We'll identify it. It's highly salvageable. An unnatural seed. And we have more bandits. Seriously, though. I mean, I don't see any passers-by. If the bandits are continually stealing from one another, then you can't do that forever. The same gold pieces are like rotating between all of them. That just doesn't seem like that's going to work out in the long run. What do we have over here? We have a bandit Bloodsworn. Well, sure, we can just kill him. We will devour his soul, such as it is. It's a pretty paltry soul, but, you know. Didn't cost anything. Okay, Stimpy did not like the innocent aloe sitting over there, so obviously he had to kill it. That's just part of who he is, I guess. We can't take him anywhere, you know? How about the Bandit Raider? More hard apple cider. Well, I am feeling a bit parched. Delicious. Guys, a lot of these guys have belts. And apparently nothing else that sells. They just... Bandits pride themselves on the quality of their belts. Worn belt and more hard apple cider. Well, you know, a little hard apple cider never hurt anyone, but how about a lot of hard apple cider? Because I've been chug-a-lugging. Need to return to Sandra Ellick, and she's in Ascalon City. Where the girls are pretty. Holy staff! I'll teach these aloe seeds what's what. That one's got a longbow. Just a longbow of piercing. Oh, we got just... Do we get XP? Yeah. No, we do not. We get zippity in the way of XP. Which is not inappropriate. I was not complaining about that. Okay. Alright, Stimpy, you take care of that. You showed it what for sure. So, over there, it looks like it comes to an end, but I'm not sure. We want the fire starter first. They're bad. We don't like them. Stimpy, please, if you will. Ow. Lots of worn belts. Still, only taking up one stack in the inventory, so we'll keep picking them up. I'm getting a little bit low on health. Uncomfortably so. Fortunately, I have Stimpy with me. I can count on him. Lots and lots of aloe seeds. Which Stimpy apparently hates. Apparently he just hates them. Hate, hate, hate. We're killing a lot of bandits. That one took a while to catch up to. A few gold coins. This is where we came in. That's not reassuring. We did a nice loop. That's interesting. Well, let's see if we can head back and try the other way then. Note to self. Lens, you might want to check the map occasionally. Just, a quick look-see. Make sure you're not almost entirely retracing your steps. Only mostly doing so. Stimpy, please, if you will. Have a tribal blade. Again. ID that. Alright, we'll try this other way then. Flat bow, again, an identifiable item. Improved sale value. Ah, me like that a lot. What can I say? Money is good. I have got a lot of worn belts. I have 12 worn belts. Stone Alley. And if only it was a crustacean, it would be a rock lobster. Why is it obstructed? That's better. And he's got to hit the other one. Oh, well, at least it had some gold in it. Good work, Stimpy. You got to give him, you know, constant props. It's like a child, really. The Barradin Estate, huh? Have something at the Barradin Estate? My brain is telling me yes, but I have learned that my brain is not necessarily trustworthy when it comes to these kinds of things. The Barradin Estate. Aha! Little Tom. Ah, my bearskin cloak at last. 'Tis lovely, isn't it? You took this pelt, did you? I'd have slain the beast myself, but I tend to be a bit heavy-handed. So I do. Each time I kill a bear, I cleave so mightily that the pelt is ruined. I'm sure that's exactly the way it is. Duke Barradin. Greetings, youngster. Youngster? I am Duke Barradin. I train young warriors in the art of hammer mastery. There's nothing that drives a point home like a hammer's mighty blow. Don't you agree? What brings you here? The true king. I recently received word from Devona that a Char ranger has been sighted south of the wall. Tom and I have been scouring the countryside for this creature. In the meantime, I need someone to go into Regent Valley to Fort Rannoch and deliver a message warning Lord Darren. He must begin his own search for this Char fiend. Oh, come on, hey now. That's not nice. You don't know he's a fiend. He might be a big, fuzzy kitty cat. I mean, probably not, but possibly. Let us sell this improved sale value. Unnatural seed. Highly salvageable. Plus, I probably salvage that for parts before I sell it. Because it's highly salvageable. Unless you're 90-year-old, you're still in your prime youth. Let's see. I'm 101 in octal. Probably doesn't count. Most people don't really know about octal. How you doing, dude? Painter's Shelter. Okay, currently it has a 5% chance to have the recharge, which is good. Gives a little energy, which is good. Damage 20%. Yeah, that's a sell. And this is one we want to salvage because it's highly salvageable. And now we'll sell the bits and see if we get more for the bits than we would have gotten for the thing. Get much more. Okay. That answers that question. So now what I'm doing is primarily just trying to keep most of my inventory empty at all times. Let's see. Travel southeast from the Barradin to the Lakeside County, head east to Ashford. Southwest Ridge to Regent Valley. Wow, okay, that's a lot of stuff. Bandit raid. Recover the Ashford strongbox from the bandits. Meet Ferracapo and Lakeside. Poison Devourer. Hour of Blood. True King. Wayward Wizard is completed. Okay, that's in Ascalon City. Where you can take me down to. Morning? Dude, did you say morning? In London? Who am I talking to? They're up there. Andre Elec. Sorry, Sandra. My bad. An air staff. Armor pen, 5% chance. Armor bonus, but you see, I've got energy bonus there and energy bonus there. Yeah, I can't give that out. Always morning after a nap. And what year is this? In the real world? In the game world? In my existence? Let's not talk about that one. That one's getting depressing. The question you ask after you wake up. I get it. Sort of a... what's the character? Mythological character who slept so long. It's right on the tip of my forebrain, and I just... These are so frustrating when I know it's right there, and all I have to do is, is hook it and pull it in, and I can't. It's right there. I know it. I know it, and I just can't reel it in. It becomes so frustrating. Because I used to be so good at pulling those little pieces of information out of my storage. Meet Faracapo in Lakeside County. Why, that's right here. Let's do that. Pardon me. Excuse me. Pardon me. Rip Van Winkle. Hi, Gwen. You want to be an adventurer too? She's going to follow me. Okay. She can follow me. I mean, I'm not sure it's safe for a little girl to be following an adventurer out in the wilds, but better that she follows me than she wander around on her own, get herself dead. Alright, he's back. You know him, you love him. It's Stimpy the Impy. Well, he hunts down the infamous Alain. Well, where is he? There's Faracapo. I don't have a van, I'm all right. Well, I might have a van, but if I do, it's not a white panel van. You have a hidden stash. Well, I can't say no to a hidden stash because it's not hidden. It's just sitting there. You can tell because it says hidden stash. Ooh, we have a chest. Well, that has to be even better than a hidden stash, don't you think? A dead staff. Dark damage. Ooh, scary stuff. It does dark damage. If these guys are going to come a little closer, Gwen. Alright, we got all three of them. That's not great. Fortunately, ooh, brake hammer. But I can only use it on brake, so it's not great. I kid. Damage, 12%, while health is above 50%. Ashford Strongbox. That seems like a questy bit. On the other hand, it does look like there are an awful lot of freaking bandits over there, so that's not ideal. Well, I could get the air staff, but it blows. Sorry. That is a shitload of bandits. It certainly looks like to me. So, we've got someplace else we need to be. There's a rogue bull. No bull. I don't want to just die to 7 or 8 random, or 9 random bandits. Because that's a shitload of bandits. Might not think bandits could come in shitloads. But evidently, yeah, you can. Well, I mean, 3 can get dicey. If 2 of them were the ranged fire guys, 3 of them would be dicey. 7 seems like auto-delete. In that they would auto-delete me. We're all long spear gear. Gold coins. Grawl necklace. She wore a Grawl necklace. Sorry, old guy music reference. Is the rogue bull a questy guy? I don't remember. I think so. Many hit points has he. I didn't drop anything. Gwen's dancing around. Okay, I'll wait here. No. Don't wait for the bull to respawn. That would be foolhardy. Young lady. Kids. You can't take them anywhere. Alright, Stimpy, I know you're going to want to hit the freaking seed, so go ahead. You'll feel better when you do. He just loves blowing up the aloes. Oh, ooh, haha. This guy's sneaking up, using the aloe as cover. Very tricky. Flame artifact. Ooh. Fire. Smoke she is a-rising. Old guy, music reference. Air magic one. I don't use air magic on account of... Why would a flame artifact give air magic one? I'm just asking questions. They happen to be good, logical questions, but they are still just questions. Three more blood fanatics, poison devourer, protection prayers. Ashford Strongbox. The Strongbox was surrounded by 150 people. We bonked around here before. There wasn't anything. Let me pop back in and sell, and then we'll jump over to Catacombs area. See if we can't find what's-his-face. You know, what's-his-face. Everyone knows what's-his-face. The guy with the thing and the other thing. Them. Why do we have little green lights floating around? Oh, nice. I can't remember what those are called. God damn it. Why is my brain turning to Cheese Whiz? let's see, the flame artifact, a natural seed, salvage item only? That's a quest item. The break hammer, air staff. And we'll pop ourselves back to, there we go, the Ashford Abbey. I can't help it. The only thing I can think of when I see Ashford is Ashford and Simpson. I'm old. They were a musical act back in the mid-17th century when I was less old, but still old. All right, I think he was, where was he? He was over there. Not that one. Not that one. That one. That one? Yeah, Farrah Capo. Protection prayers who taught you to keep Farrah alive. He'll do the heavy lifting or county. He's in Lakeside County. Didn't see him in Lakeside County. I wasn't specifically looking. Somebody was talking about, complaining about all their prize-winning hogs getting out. But I didn't see a quest. Maybe there's a hidden quest. Farmer Dirk, perhaps? My life is ruined. Some ruffians have come around and let my prize-winning hogs out of their pen. Been chasing after them all afternoon. I'm completely exhausted. If they wander off too far, who knows what'll happen to their poor, poor souls. Barbecue will happen to their poor, poor souls. Ribs. And, maybe some bacon. Pork shanks. Delicious. You see, some of the wild creatures around these parts would make quite a feast of my precious little babies. Perhaps you and your friend could help me out and get them back to safety. I'm not sure how we're going to get them back to safety, but I can try. Okay, I guess if I click on them, that scares them? Oh, I don't even have to click on them. I just have to guide them back. The wolves, they're going to eat my prize hogs. Yeah, sure. Dude, I got one of your hogs back. Hey, you went the wrong way, stupid pig. All right, one at a time. Don't try to guide too many at once. Okay, so there's 5 in there now. Oh. Was that enough? Or now does he actually have a quest? Why, thank you. They're all back. They're not all back. But if you see Orville, tell him to keep his filthy hands off your pigs. Okay, so I did that. I got him his stuff, and Farmer Dirk gave me nothing? Good to know. Would anyone like a rapidly killed pig? How about I give him one more and give him a chance to actually give me a reward? Farmer Dirk? King Adelburn's cook has been standing order with me, nothing but the best pork for the king. Well, yeah, I mean, enjoy some nice pork. Not gonna lie. Never been a huge pork chop fan. They tend to be really dry. Searching for 3 unnatural seeds. Well, I've been selling them. Chantal the Troubadour. Might she have a quest? She's got a quest! A while ago, I was given an old Minotaur horn by a Canthan trader. Minotaur? I mean, Tauren exist on this world? I've fashioned a hunter's horn, which I would like to give to Aiden. I have used all my art to fashion this horn, but the final step is beyond my talents to fully reach its potential. This horn must be bathed in the water of a healing spring. Such a spring is rumored to be located in the south part of Regent Valley. Aiden, the last I heard, was visiting the fishing village south of the tower. I'll do that because I'm a good guy. That's Ashford. That's Regent Valley. The other thing was in Wizard's thing. Don't say it. South of Wizard's Folly. Right, wasn't it? Purify the hunter's horn in the healing spring in Regent Valley. Okay, it's in Regent Valley. Well, Regent Valley is over here. Haven't been there yet. Pardon the yawn. Oh no, that's the Wizard's Folly. How does one get to Regent Valley then? I guess one takes the other route that says Regent Valley. Am I going the correct way now? I think so. Did she actually hand me a hunter's horn? She did. I will repeat, quest items should never go into the inventory. Please, developers, stop doing that. Do you know which game had the best inventory? Not the most logical, not the easiest to use. Anarchy Online. And do you know why? Because you could put bags inside bags, inside bags, inside bags. Now, trying to keep track of everything in your theoretically infinite amount of bag space wasn't easy, but not everything worthwhile is easy. What does Kaylee got? Hi, Kaylee. You're looking good. You changed your hair. Grawl necklaces. None of those are particularly worthwhile looking to me. Regent Valley. Fort Rennick. King's Watch. Let's go ahead and bust out Stimpy. Way around programming. Does it really cost them that much to make inventory much bigger? It can. Generally, no, not with the limitations of game. The amount of game data involved would be relatively minimal. In most games, it is an item that they use as, I don't want to say a control mechanic, as a point of friction. They don't want you to keep everything, and at least equally importantly, they don't want you to have to feel like you keep everything. People keeping certain quest items around without finishing the quest because the inventory items look so pretty, so icons look so pretty. I have zero difficulty understanding that. Something like Anarchy Online, the way they did it, I always assumed that they did it as every bag was just a linked list. And a linked list basically is a list of items. And what they can do is you can nest linked lists. And so it would be very easy to just have a linked list with a bag in it that takes you to another linked list with bags in it. As long as you're not doing anything recursive where you've got a bag inside a bag that's inside the first bag, it's not very efficient, but it's very easy to make it work. But the general opinion is you do need points of friction for things like inventory, because otherwise people will keep everything even when they shouldn't, and then they'll complain that they can't find anything. So the Anarchy Online solution is the most generous solution I've ever seen, but it's not actually a practical solution. Where are we going? All the way down there. That's a hike. And it certainly varies by game. But I will never change my opinion on something like quest items should never go in your bags. Period. End of line. End of sentence. And especially egregious is Path of Exile, where they'll happily fill up large amounts of your nowhere near sufficient inventory. Last Epoch spoiled us. The Last Epoch, I think, did a good job in finding a middle ground, a middle sort of space to put it. They did what they did with a lot of the quality of life things, which is they did simple stuff that we always wanted, like give us a compact our inventory, Path of Exile, and they never have. Now, Last Epoch doesn't completely get rid of, oh my god, he's doing it again. Doesn't completely get rid of the inventory Tetris, which I detest. Just give us all items in an inventory, take up the same amount of space, and then give us a weight limit. Don't make us do Tetris, because you still have to do Tetris in Last Epoch if you're out in the middle of a quest and you want to hold on to everything you've already got. And compacting the inventory will help, but it won't always fix it. Now, I know David Brevik, who designed Diablo 1 and Diablo 2, or at least was the lead on those. His wife used to do a lot of streaming as on Twitch as the Jungle Queen. I enjoyed her stuff, but David usually hung around and would answer questions from me. And, you know, he has a more draconian point of view on inventory than I do. In that it seemed like he felt that, you know, even the stuff that they had in the Diablo games was a little bit too generous. I most assuredly do not agree with that. It does have to be... There's a balance to be made. Games need to have friction in them. But the friction cannot amount to the point where it is frustration. At that point, you've taken it too far. So you do need points of friction, but they have to be very carefully balanced. Well, it's been an eternity since you heard from them. Are they still doing seasons? Which? Last Epoch? Doing seasons? Yes, the last one was smaller than the previous, but was pretty good. Yeah. The last one was pretty good, but kind of disappointing to a lot of people because it was so much smaller than the previous one. The previous one was a very substantial patch, and the next one is expected to be substantial again. At least that's the general consensus. Whether that turns out to be the case or not, we'll see. Healing fountain. I feel better already. Not, you know, like actually better, but it's the thought that matters, right? It's a salvage item, so we'll salvage it. That's a quest item. Quest items go down there. Quest item down there. We have lots of spooters. I am hopeful that the next big patch from Last Epoch is up to the previous one. The last one wasn't bad, but for a lot of people it felt underwhelming. I didn't really feel underwhelmed. I thought it was fine. But I can also understand why some people were disappointed. Grawl necklace, Grawl shaman gear. Well, we'll just take both of those and bust them up for parts. Old carapace. This is the Grawl necklaces. There it is, Grawl shaman gear. But I haven't been paying attention. Friday, so earlier today. Sorry. Yesterday. Was their weekly Last Epoch live stream. I didn't watch. As long as the points of friction aren't lined with a mix of sandpaper and nettles. You left out pouring a little bit of Tabasco on them. If we had a frictionless gaming experience, we wouldn't know what to do with ourselves. And now a black bear comes running in. Ooh, energy 4. That's got a lot of nice things. Must be up above. Too many times, certain developers seem to err on what I would describe as the side of frustration instead of just friction. In particular, I think the PoE developers have shown an occasional fetish for frustration. Can I go up there? No. Where is the thing I'm looking? I don't know what the hell I'm looking for there. The healing spring is what I'm looking for. Okay. Since Chris is gone, it seems things turning to good. Now, I don't agree. I think one of the current lead developers is very good, and the other one has a vision. And his vision is not a game I want to play. But fortunately, it seems that he has lost some of his pull because a number of his decisions have been reversed. And they've realized that most of their player base, the loyal player base they can count on, who for years have bought the supporter packs. 4 times a year they've bought supporter packs. All of a sudden they stopped buying supporter packs because they weren't having fun. One of them has resting bitch face. I think that's Mark. Mark is the one who's the actual developer who wants to make a fun game. The other one who's more smiling, Jonathan, is the more sort of smiling and avuncular and seems like a nicer guy to hang out with. He's the one who has been chasing difficulty as almost a fetish. I think he has been the primary moving force in PoE 2. And I don't think his influence has been particularly good on the game. I believe he is the one who made the decisions to basically, in essence, stop developing PoE 1 because PoE 2 needed more attention from the developers. I believe that was his call almost completely. And he's the one who has been seemingly trying to turn it into a Souls-like game. That wants the slower style of play. And what's funny is the end game in PoE 2 is no slower than the end game in PoE 1. The early game is much, much, much slower, but the end game is the same speed as PoE 1. It's kind of funny to learn new things about an old game, like some very specific skill interaction that can lead to quest NPCs getting killed, because that one specific NPC doesn't have any form invalid target mechanic like 99% of other PCs have, or some other oversight or weirdness. Yeah, those kind of things, when they pop up, I can't imagine any developer doesn't wish that they had chosen a different way of making a living. Is it the horn that's supposed to go here, I think? Did we get the credit for that? The Hunter's Horn. Go to the fishing village south of the tower in Wizard's Folly and deliver it. Do we have anything else to do in this place is the question. Yeah, the most inescapable law in the universe is the law of unintended consequences. And boy, does that hold true in game design. Let's see. Travel east from Barrington Estate to Lakeside County. Head south to Ashford. I'm in Region Valley. Once in Region Valley, follow the road to Fort Ronick. I do need to go to Fort Ronick. Oh, wow. Okay, we got a ways to go. Bethesda Obsidian game. Unexpected interactions can lead to incredibly good developments. And smart developers will find those things and will leverage them. They'll say, the players discovered this thing we hadn't intended and it's better. A perfect example of that is Warframe. You know, the bullet jumping that makes up such a big part of the game, that was not their intended design. Players discovered the bullet jumping and basically said, this is incredibly fun. And the devs looked at it and went, we never wanted this. It's incredibly fun. Let's keep this. And they kept it, and it's part of the hallmark of Warframe. So being open to the sort of emergent gameplay is something you always want to have as a game developer. Oh, he healed himself. Jerk. I don't think I'm following the road. No. Well, there's a bridge there. No. Not sure how I'm supposed to get there, but I'm going to hope it's this way. Well, we want to go that way. Can't go that way. You can test a game as much as you want with your dev teams in small groups, but once it goes in the form of public betas, players very literally do everything to break and abuse. Yeah, and actually most of the time, you know, the way you described it there makes it sound malevolent. It's not. They're just trying to find something cool. They see something interesting and they go, hey, I wonder if I can, and they can, much to their surprise. Digital Extreme open all kinds of ideas, makes them not unique. A lot of game companies, especially the smaller ones, are going to be that same way. But there are other examples like that where, game companies where the players have found either a mechanic that they didn't realize that the devs didn't intend or realize. But they decided to either allow or outright leverage. It's a lot harder to do that in a bigger game or at a bigger game company. Emergent gameplay, when it is great, it is an incredible win for the game developers and the players. But not all emergent gameplay is a win. But emergent gameplay is also an incredibly powerful incentive to players. Because it is unforeseen. It's not something they're expecting and used to. And that makes it, I think, especially... I don't have any spider legs, dude, sorry. Makes it especially involving. Ivor? I don't need Ivor. I am going to have to fight my way through all those jerks. One of the things a company can do, and some games have done in the past, it is harder to do now, which is design a game that has a lot of hooks for encouraging emergent gameplay. It is a very tough thing to do. Some of the best examples, in my opinion, would be Star Wars Galaxies. They gave the players a wide variety of game systems. And then the players took over from there. Read Reddit, what people want in games. Makes your brain cells die. Well, a lot of times, what they think they want isn't what they actually want. And a lot of times, the things that they want, they're just absolutely, completely wrong about. Demonstrably wrong about. But a number of game companies have talked about how... Oh, we don't want that one. We do want that one. That the player base is a great source of information about things that aren't working. They are a terrible source of fixes for things that are broken. In other words, they're great at finding problems. They're terrible at providing solutions. That's highly salvageable. Is it? Is it, though? Even in Guild Wars game, there are still quite a few bugs you can recall that happened over the years. Most of them were rare and harmless. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, a game like this that has things like terrain and moving through a terrain, as opposed to moving through a hex field or something like that, where it's all very distinct. Yeah, the differences are going to be enormous. Anything with 3D graphics is going to have entirely different demands on it. And you're going to have weird we'll call them both. You're going to have weird interactions with stuff. There was actually a good, interesting post about what QA is actually like in game companies on Reddit today, I think. With the guy talking about, the kind of things he had seen in his time in QA. And what QA is like in the different phases of game development cycle, depending on the nature of the game and the game company. That's an awful lot of bad guys. I gotta say, I'm not entirely a fan. Alright, Stimpy, get him. But yeah, any sort of, especially something like an MMO or something like this that has a 3D environment moving through, you're always, and I do mean always, going to run into glitches. It's just inevitable. I'm not happy with this development at all. One little, two little, three little scale fins. Just use AI to test their game. Don't for a minute think that they are not all looking at it. I guarantee you, every single game company of more than just a couple of people is looking at what they can use to leverage with AI. And the fact of the matter is, a lot of things will be very impacted by AI. It's just, there's no way of knowing which ones are actually going to be impacted. That's why you see a lot of people talking about, is there a bubble in AI? And there absolutely isn't a bubble in AI. It's just not with AI itself. It's the amount of money going in means that a lot of companies that have huge valuations already are going to fail. That's the bubble. The bubble's not going to hit you or me. It's going to hit the people in those companies and the people who decided to invest in those companies and the people who decided to use services from those companies. Let's see, that's a quest item. That's not. Sell. 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 Sell and sell. All right. We have an inventory space again. It's the way back in 95, I started to see URLs showing up on TV commercials, right? And I said, this is going to be huge. I told my family, my parents, the internet is going to be huge. It's going to change everything. But I have no idea who the winners and losers are. I have no idea who to invest in. But boy, some companies are just going to make more money than God. And two parts of that were right. I was right. Some companies were going to make ridiculous amounts of money. And the other part I was right about, I had no idea who might be the winners and the losers. And it's the same thing in AI. Who's going to be the winners and losers in AI? I have no clue. But they're going to exist. And the winners are going to win ridiculously huge. And the losers are probably going to end up being CEOs at the next company. They will suffer no negative effect from having squandered literal billions of dollars. That is an awful lot of scale brood collars. And I'm not near Fort Raznik yet. All right, well, I guess we got to kill them. Or at least kill some of them. They may not even fail upwards. They'll just get another really good paying job that they're really not actually suited for. Yeah, it does blow my mind when I see CEOs that I have known people who worked at those companies. And when they get rehired someplace new and I read it and I go, these idiots who just hired that guy, it's like they didn't even look what happened at the last company where he was maybe not the CEO, maybe he was like the, COO or Chief Product Officer or something like that. This is an unidentified. Well, then let's identify it so that we can sell it for money. Improve sale value. Yes, more money. Money, 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 money. Your turn, sir. How about I give you a little touch? A vampiric touch. Speaking of AI, Microsoft just implemented an AI in Windows Preview and warned people it may install malware by itself. Yeah. Hot guess is that the oldest businesses in human history will surely be involved in some form. If someone can be used for gambling, scams, or certain other things, they most definitely will. Oh, yeah, well, you're already seeing it. Now that gambling has been legalized in so many places, including sports, it's like watch the ads on ESPN for half an hour. Gambling ad after gambling ad after gambling ad. It's despicable. Well, that's one of the things. Since I'm in Silicon Valley, I know what the fervor is like, which is everybody is afraid that they're going to miss out on the big money that's coming in AI. And of course, most of them are. But none of them want to admit that we don't have the expertise to actually make AI work for us. So we're going to be doing supportive stuff or something else. Nope, they're all chasing it as if they can get the brass ring. Spoiler, they can't. Wait, to Lakeside County. To Lakeside County? I don't want to go to Lakeside County. I want to go to Fort Rannoch. It's supposed to be here. Is it over here? Must be. How can this take me to Lakeside County? That doesn't even make sense. Oh, it's pointing the other way back. I see. It's pointing back that way. Okay, yeah, that way makes sense. Well, that's not going the way we want to go. I think this way is going the way we want to go, but I'm not positive. Everybody is investing in AI and then, in most cases, cutting employees out of the belief that they won't need the employees because magically AI is going to fix all of their support problems. You invested in Bitcoin when no one knew it would become big? Well, obviously, yes. I mean, there are cases of people using Bitcoin to order a pizza for delivery. And I don't know, was it like 12 or 40 Bitcoins? Which is like over $1 million now for that same thing, that to have a pizza delivered. Yeah, there are going to be incredible winners and losers in the AI wars. And there's no way of knowing who. But nobody wants to not be involved. Sure, miss, no problem. Can you go to the orchard and get your basket? The spiders won't give you any trouble, I'll warn. I'm supposed to get her. Okay, I'm assuming the orchard is down there, but we want to go in. Do we need to go into? Yeah, we'll go into Fort Rannoch now. No. We'll get her basket, her picnic basket. first. For Mary Malone. I'm sure it's a picnic basket. We may not know who the winners will be. We'll know for sure who most likely losers are. Generally true, yeah. Anyone who's aiming at too narrow a niche is probably going to follow the... Ooh, Scooter is probably going to follow the pets.com route. Spider leg, spider leg. I don't know how stocks work. Can you buy a dollar's worth of stocks in all companies? Theoretically, no. Generally, you have to go to a stock brokerage and buy a number of shares of stock. There are some stocks or some sort of, I'm not sure if it's brokerages or stuff that you can basically, you buy shares in like a mutual fund and they will buy shares in the stock so you can get fractional shares. I'm not sure. The only things I've ever done were full shares, either from company stock purchase plans where you work for a company and you can put in like 10% of your salary and you'll get the stock for that 3-month period at like 85% of the value at either the beginning or end of the period. So basically, a lot of people would put 10% in and they'd immediately sell it, and that would basically give them an extra 1.5%. Oh, God, no. If you're looking to me for financial advice, let me tell you a story. This is a real story, I promise. It sounds like it should be a sad story, but I have done well in the stock market, okay? Overall, the stock market paid off my house, gave me enough money to retire. Because of the companies I had worked for, I had enough stock shares in that I was able to make that work for myself. So I am very fortunate in my time and investments in stock in Silicon Valley. Now I will tell you the theoretically unhappy story. Now, this is true. I am not making up numbers here. At one point, I invested $26,250 in a stock called Apple Computer. The stock immediately went down, about 1,000 shares at 26.25. It immediately went down and stayed down. And so I went, if it ever, I put in a sell order, if it ever got back to the same point I bought it at, I'd sell it. So I'd get my money back out. Took a couple of years, and my 1,000 shares, I made $250. It sold for a quarter more than I had bought it for. Since then, Apple stock split 2 for 1. That's 2,000 shares. It split 2 for 1 again. 4,000 shares. It split 2 for 1. 8,000 shares. It split 7 for 1. 56,000 shares. It split 3 for 1. 168,000 shares. Last time I looked, it was, I don't know, $40 or $50 million I don't have. Now, most people would be banging their head on the floor, wall, computer, monitor, etc. But I know I never made that much money or even close to that much money. But I made enough. I paid off my condo. And I could afford to retire early off other investments. I did very, very well. But that's the one that got away. And there's no way of knowing, for most investors, which ones are going to go away quite like that. So I almost made a really good investment. But I got lucky more than I got unlucky. Could live for about 1,000 years, give or take, with the aging process being attached accordingly. Would you want to? Yes, I would want to. Assuming I can, if I'm living in terrible pain or the world has gone to insufferable crap, that I could pull the plug if I wanted to, then yeah, I would want to live for 1,000 years. Can you imagine what the games are going to be like in 1,000 years? Fort Rannoch. Well, let me sell my crap. Let's see, those are all quest items. Half the recharge of spells, 5% chance. I think the artifact I have is better. Sell the axe. Sell the spider webs. Somebody who had a thing for buying the spider legs. I think that was in town, that I might be worth... Nah. Let's just sell it. Nah. Let's just sell it all. Sell it all! I mean, look at that. I have 1 platinum and 332 gold. I am so rich. I am so filthy rich. Fort Brannock. Well, I have a message, I think, for Lord Darren. Lord Darren, can you hear me? What's this? A letter from the Duke. Oh, I see. The good Duke suggests that I'm not doing enough to serve Ascalon. See what he says here? I trust you and your men, being so far from the conflicts at the wall, have ample resources to hunt down this Char. Between you and me, Baradon is fortunate he is so skilled a warrior. Else he'd learn to regret being such a poor diplomat. In any case, this message has been received. You may consider yourself dismissed. Oh my! Pardon me, I have been dismissed. Let's see, energy 3, armor 5. This one currently has energy 3, health 20, and then when I'm on low health and armor, more energy and armor. No, I think I got to keep that one. And then this is the Warhammer of Fortitude. I'm fortitudinous? Is that a thing? Is fortitudinous a thing? I have no idea. What is out past those doors? Are we allowed to find out? Oh. Hello, Hatcher, the collector man. I assume we're not allowed through because the doors aren't open. He wants unnatural seeds, for which he would have given me a Crichton tunic. Not especially generous seeming, I have to say. Where are we at? Okay, no. 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 Return to go to the fishing village south of the tower in Wizard's Folly. All right, off to Wizard's Folly then. Don't have anything to talk to any of them about. For whatever reason, there are a lot of people have been hanging around in this area, in this little thing of the Foibles Fair. I don't think I've ever been in here without there being at least 3 other players. Okay, presumably... Oh, wrong button. Right button. Let's go ahead and once again bust out Stimpy. Let's see. All the way down there, huh? All right, well, fine. If we got to go all the way down there, we've got to go all the way down there. Get him, Stimpy. He's made out of ice. He's your natural enemy. I suggest murderation. 6% chance of having the casting speed of spells. I think this is a dead end. Pretty sure it's a dead end. It's a dead end. It's a dead end. I can feel a sneeze wandering around in my sinuses looking for escape. Okay, you don't want me to go that way? Pardon the yawn, old man. You know. An enchanted lodestone. If I smoke it, will I get enchanted loaded? People use a quest that spawns some extra enemies to farm that area. Gotcha. Makes sense. Because I was curious, I did look up Legendary Defender of Ascalon, including the optimal paths. One was a video on how to do it in 20 hours. That seems like an awful lot of grinding to me. All right, we are going not entirely the right way. That doesn't seem to be the right... That's going to take us to Ashford Abbey, where we don't particularly want to go. Can we go across country here? Tried to brutally maul me. That would be mean. I'd have to have stern words. We've got more bandits. More bears. Bears, bandits. Oh my. Bear pelt. Banditos. 12 o'clock. Handle it. So Reforged will basically be like this with UI changes. UI changes and... I would expect, although I don't think they've announced it yet, I think controller support across the board, whereas right now I think the only thing they've announced it for is the Steam Deck. That title on a few characters. It's not account wide? Are you insane? No, I have played it off and on a few times in the past. The last time was, I don't know, maybe 6 or 9 months ago. Community was very kind and helpful in giving me advice, giving me some goodies, and I managed to get up to level 20 for the first time. So I am familiar, but by no means conversant with the game. A character title. Well, I mean, I was about to say you're insane, but no, I can actually see when you get into the right mood for grinding, with the right content, it can be a very relaxing activity. However, yeah, you're insane. Having said that, yeah, you're nuts. Yeah. You're nuts. I'm not, obviously, just because I have 5 of each profession on Guild Wars 2. That's 1 for each spec and an extra for a spare. But I'm clearly not crazy. Can't be me who's crazy, must be you who is crazy. Oh. No, seriously, I can actually understand. Like any of, there are a lot of smaller niche games that have incredibly loyal player bases. And a lot of times players will find their own way of giving themselves a challenge for a game they're playing. One of my Guild Wars 2 friends, he did world completion without using any mounts. Well, you might go, oh, yeah, but we didn't have to use mounts back in the day. Without using any waypoints. Live stream some days ago on the official Guild Wars 2 account with Loranity, where they showed some sneak peek of the controller gameplay, and the user interface was rather interesting. Yeah, she also did a QA, I know, with the team. I saw only a small amount of it. But, I mean, the announcement brought me back poking around here again at Guild Wars 1. Sorry, Guild Wars. It's not Guild Wars 1. It's just Guild Wars. There is no Guild Wars 1. There is no Dana, only Zool. And it'll be interesting to see what happens on, I believe it's the 3rd, when we get the actual release. Let's see, he wants enchanted lodestones. I think I have those. But the things he has for availability aren't worth trading. I think I sell them for more. Dude, you've got to offer better deals or no one's going to be interested in what you're selling. No, I bought Guild Wars, I don't think right when it came out, but not too long after it came out. I bought the collector's edition. And for years, I tried probably, I think I said, like a half a dozen times to try and get into it. And it never grabbed me. I think I got to the point where I understand why people like it a lot more. Earlier this year, or maybe even it was last year, when I played and the community was very generous in helping me get to 20 for the first time. Getting that one sword before entering the first town in Path of Exile is farming. Well, yeah, that's farming. I've gotten it twice, I think, before they really nerfed how easy it was to get by making it so much harder. I can't remember the name of it. Thing is, you kind of have to build around that sword if you're going to do that grind in PoE. Psycho for deleting every character you played after finishing a league in PoE. I have a few. I have like 8 maybe or 10 left for my PoE characters. Basically the ones who get to the highest level I keep. I've never gone back and played one of them. But if I wanted to, I could. What is the name of that damn sword? Thank you, Onigoroshi. You kind of have to build around it, though, if you're going to get it. Because I believe it ignites you, if memory serves. But they made it much, much harder to get. The first couple of leagues with it, it was pretty easy to get Onigoroshi. If you got lucky, you could get it in like 2 or 3 hours. More likely, it was going to be 3 or 4. What a beautiful horn. You needn't say who made it. I can see Chantal's workmanship in every graven detail. I can also see that this horn has been purified in some way. Can it be that it was cleansed in a healing spring? Truly, this is the finest hunter's horn I've ever seen. I'm deeply grateful for what you've done. I'm cool like that, man. That means you can't switch between those elite specs and Guild Wars 2. Oh no, you can switch. No, you can switch freely. My most played character, my Guardian, has all 4 unlocked. He had enough points left over on launch day. He could immediately get the full spec. It's just me. I enjoy leveling in Guild Wars 2. I know for a lot of people would look at that and go, what does enjoy leveling mean? No, I enjoy leveling. I mean, that's why I was kind of joking about him being crazy for having done Legendary Defender of Ascalon multiple times. I enjoy creating characters. I enjoy working them through the game. The open world for me in Guild Wars 2 is what I enjoy doing. And I am absolutely an inveterate alt whore for every game I play, if it allows for alting. It's one of the things that made it so that I was never very interested in Final Fantasy XIV. I mean, I tried it a number of times. But the idea, you know, they talk about you only need one character, you can unlock everything on that one character. That's not a plus for me, that's a minus. Altaholic, Altor, either one works, yeah. Absolutely. And that's for every game. I had to delete a level 3 character to create this guy the other day. I have never been one of those types of players who has a main that's what they play, and they might occasionally do something else, but they basically only play their main. For quite a while, I had the maximum number of characters in WoW spread across a half a dozen servers. I believe it was 50 characters at the time. Why? Muy loco? I think Muy Loco explains it pretty well, actually. I need an ID kit. Thank you. Yeah, I enjoy the process of leveling itself. The progression I get, even in a game that doesn't have real vertical progression, like this one does, after you've hit level 80, and not like this one, sorry, like Guild Wars 2 does, after you've hit level 80 and, you know, kitted yourself out with decent exotic gear, the advancement on that character is generally done outside of, you know, account advancement through things like mastery. But I enjoy that process. For me, the journey is the reward, to quote a cliche. And so while I continue to play WoW, certainly for most expansions, and enjoy that vertical progression, you know, the loop of improving your gear, accessing new specialties and skills and stuff like that. That I still get that itch, and you know, the thing, it scratches that itch in your brain. But advancement, it just the basic advancement in the world, and that's why I prefer Guild Wars 2. Is the world itself is more alive than any of the other games. At least that's the way it feels like to me. Same, you'll have a main character, but you'll do the side quests with alts, and that's, you know, a perfectly understandable way to approach it too. Do the storyline with the main character, and then, you know, you've got all this other stuff that you could do, and do it with the alts. What will I sell? Let's see. I will sell that. Sell. Sell. Spider leg. Spider leg. I can't stop myself. And once again, my inventory is mostly cleared out. Who's the beautiful pendant for? Midnight has you intrigued. You don't know if you could go back to WoW. The last expansion was good. I didn't play the later content patches on top of it, but the expansion itself was good. I particularly, and this is something I wish Guild Wars 2 would do, they've added a lot of very solo-friendly activities. The delve system is you can solo completely. The dungeon, the storylines now that take you into dungeons, you have NPC players you can go with, so you can now solo the dungeons with an NPC party. Just at the basic level, and I would love to see that, say, for the deprecated dungeons in Guild Wars 2. Give us NPCs we can go with to at least wipe out the basic storyline stuff, not necessarily all the paths in the dungeon. First Guild Wars, especially Prophecies, feels a bit slower in comparison to Guild Wars 2 regarding leveling and such. Oh, definitely. No instant click level 80s. Yeah, absolutely. Well, it is more of an old school, basically an RPG, a co-op RPG. And isn't that what they called it? C-O-R-P-G, because they said specifically it was not an MMORPG. It's a co-op role-playing game with PvP. And it's from an older school, so the combat in this feels relatively similar compared to Guild Wars 2, say, with the original classic WoW. The fights are slower, more deliberate, and if you pull too many guys, you're done. So, in a lot of ways, this feels more like classic MMO, like WoW Vanilla, than it feels like Guild Wars 2. Played a little bit of the recent X-Pack, but only did for about a month. Pre-Searing is the best gameplay, in your opinion? I think it's the purest. It's the first experience you had with the game, and it's probably the most polished. Because, like a lot of games, especially Guild Wars 2, as we've seen in the recent expansions, the initial stuff is the stuff that's the most polished. And then as they get close to the end, they run out of time, and you end up with Nyos, and you end up with the Zaitan fight in core. Wish all games supported soloing if it's not PvP. Yeah, me too. I agree completely with you, the dude. Absolutely. 100%. For instance, I played a little bit on stream of Arc Raiders, and I think that's a really good game. And I really, really wish they had PvE only servers. It feels like a 20-year-old MMO. Yeah, both in the good ways and the maybe not so good ways. Let's see. We went to Fort Ronnock. Wanted to see who the hell is supposed to get the beautiful pendant. A lot of people are asking for PvE servers for Arc Raiders. Yeah, and I think they're shooting themselves in the head by not offering it, at least eventually. Dune Awakening is a good example. The number of people they saw saying, I would love to play this game, looks like a blast, but fuck PvP, I have no interest. And so what they did is, if you're not aware, it is a survival crafting type game, but the end game, the real end game stuff, is what was initially, I think it's a 9x9 grid area, and the bottom row was PvE, and all of the rest was PvP. No, I think it's 10 by 10. We'll go with 10 by 10. Anyway, the bottom row was PvE, and the rest of it was PvP. And after, I don't know, a month, 6 weeks, they changed it so it's the first 5 rows are PvE and the last 5 rows are PvP. Why? Because so many people don't want to PvP. Now, personally, I'm a huge fan of alternate rule set servers. So I think, if your game can support it, having multiple rule sets available is a huge win for everybody. So something like Arc Raiders having PvE servers, having hardcore, maybe not hardcore, but a brutal core, shall we call it, kind of server for the people who really want the more difficult experience. For Dune Awakening, PvE only servers, open PvP servers, factional PvP servers. Trying to cram everyone into one flavor of server type, I think, is a real mistake when there are players with broad, vastly different tastes in what they want to do in a game. And if your game supports that kind of play, I think you're pissing away money by not offering alternate rule sets. Minecraft Anarchy server, no place is safe. That would be another example. Yeah. But then granted, one of my prejudices in games is I love alternate rule set servers. I love what they do in EverQuest and EverQuest 2, where they'll swap around rule sets and add things and remove things. If your game architecture supports it, and the game or potential player base supports it and wants to play other stuff, I just think you're kicking yourself in the face. You're pissing away money. Escort Farakapo, Poison Devourer. I don't see that quest. Do I have multiple quests now where I have quest objects that I don't need? I know the bear pelt one I did, and I'm up to 4 of them now. And the beautiful pendant might be the same thing. Solution for soloing is here now. With all the new AI companies, our problems will be solved. And that is actually something that I think can be done and doesn't really require AI. I mean, we see it in WoW with the changes they made now, where you have NPCs. You can go into dungeons with a group of NPCs. But yes, that's the kind of thing that certainly there will be a market for AI. The ability to fill in your group, if not have a group completely of AI players. It's like, oh, we need a tank. Well, we can LFG for a tank, but then, they'll split after the first boss because that's the one that's got the drop they need. Or we can just AI it. Also, I think you'll see if in the not too distant future, and I know they're already being worked on in places, you'll see NPCs like Mindle the Collector here. Might be completely an AI-driven NPC who's got built-in, a dozen different emotional and historical little slider bars to define their character. And maybe they don't like necromancers and won't deal with necromancers. Maybe they like necromancers extra and give them a better bargain and are willing to chat with them and give them information. Those kinds of things are the kind of dials you can twiddle where AI makes sense. Or potentially makes sense in games. Humans will leave you, AI will be with you forever. Yeah. Sadly, too many people are taking AI's words for things. For instance, there are a lot of people in technical academia are getting inundated with emails talking about the theory that this guy has discovered by discussing it with ChatGPT that answers I have solved all of the big problems in physics with the help of ChatGPT. Here's my unified field theory. It solves all of unified field theory for gravity. No, it really doesn't. And it doesn't help that most of the AIs right now, At least the LLM models. They talk to you like you're a genius. And that's not fair because I actually am a genius, you know. What? Time Crunch will see devs push to use AI tools to automate. Oh, yes. Yep, and you will get wonky results, absolutely. As I said earlier, the most inescapable law in the universe is the law of unintended consequences. Always. I have a thing for the catacombs. Well, evidently I'm supposed to go into the catacombs for something. Is that the Hour of Blood, Catacombs? Fond of Dark Pact. Enter the catacombs and destroy the blood fanatics. I went looking for blood fanatics and I never found them. They were nowhere to be seen. Oh, hey, Sethgo. I didn't even see you joined. How you doing? Sethgo is an old friend of mine from my Latro days. No, my old friend. We've known each other a long time. He's not old. I'm the old friend. It's a restless corpse. It's now a resting corpse. Let's see. So theoretically, the guys I'm looking for should be in this direction. Theoretically. Theory's a wonderful thing. Have you noticed how often it actually doesn't resemble practice? We're looking for... blood fanatics. I'm sure they're very nice. I came through here the other day. It chose to not go further because there were so many gargoyles, but I've got Stimpy with me. Between me and Stimpy, we'll take them apart. Get him, Stimpy. Who's a good boy? Stimpy's a good boy. Well, I don't see any particular reason to go over to the statue of Grinth. Although he's looking very Grinthy today. You're looking very Grinthy, Grinth. It's a good look for you. Being the whole god of death and everything. It's a good... What? What? Alright, well, we'll grab a gargoyle skull because... Ew. Well, actually, I'm not sure. Why would they have skulls? They're made out of rock. I just don't think that makes any logical sense. But I'm not going to refuse some gold coins. Do I have a moment to talk about our Lord and Savior, Prince Rourke? Well, as long as it's not King Adelburn, because I know how that ends. Adelburn, Kilbron. For an invasive species, we humans, not very smart on this planet. A tomb nightmare. Tomb Nightmare. More Gargies. $40 DLC, $15 season pass, plus $250 cosmetics. Price per piece. Well, yeah, but to be fair, it is a price per piece, but you get additional effects for every piece you've paid $250. Apparently, the monetization in Aeon 2 is too much even for the Korean audience. Ah, military grade. Very nice. The day that Aeon 2 launched, it was met with so much negativity. This company's stock dropped 15%. Hey, we got Blood Fanatics. I'm not sure it's possible. I'm the first person to ever say enthusiastically, hey, we've got Blood Fanatics. The highest praise I've heard so far for Aeon 2 is, it's okay. No, it's a good game. That's about it. I need to destroy one more Blood Fanatic. I don't want to look around. Well, that's a little dark. Cenotaphs. He has vile touch. Ew! Bad touch, bad touch. Looking for blood donors? Well, they did donate to the cause. Really, what are blood fanatics doing in, like, there's no blood in here. There's a bunch of dried up corpses, that's all. Return to Kasha Black Blood. So she's a black blood and she doesn't like blood fanatics? What, because they don't like black blood? They only want what? Red blood? Blue blood? Green blood? You don't like Vulcans? Just spitballing here. What was down this way? I wanted to see. Evidently she's in the Green Hills country. She is in the Green Hills country. Oh no, Kasha has sent someone else to punish us. Yes. Oh, wait, it's a blood fanatic. Hi, how you doing? Yep. She sent me to punish you guys. Wonder what kinds of things you could find if you go freaking or something and fly around, look at every little texture in the area. Yeah. A lot of games will end up having tools for people to do that kind of stuff because they're just, we always want to know. We always want to poke around at stuff. And hey, this actually. And that's the exit to the Green Hills country where we will find the one who gave us this quest. So had we come in from where we had gotten the quest, we would have found them immediately instead of having to fight our way through the whole goddamn place. Bones at the bottom? Yeah, well, bones also kind of meant to discourage you from falling onto them. Pardon the yawn. Oh my god. I've had such a rough day. You know, I woke up. That was probably the hardest part of the day, not going to lie. Okay, where is Kasha? Well, she's actually probably going to be faster to get there from Ascalon City. Where the grass is green and the girls are pretty. Need a nap between naps. It'll fix everything. That, yeah, I would kind of put money on that. Yeah. Annette Landrew. The Will of Landrew. That's an old guy Star Trek reference that nobody is going to get. Got another yawn coming. I can feel it. There it is. I warned you. He's a fire starter. He's a bandit fire starter. Star Trek watch party? Ah, but which Star Trek? That's the question. I'm old enough that I can remember watching what turned out to be the last episode of Star Trek, the original series. It's the only one I remember. I may have watched others as well, but I know I watched that one. Because I can remember some scenes from it. The one where Kirk's mind gets swapped with his ex-girlfriends. No, I'm not making that up. What? No idea you watched a lot of them. Why? I watched a metric shit ton of the original. Most of Next Gen. A lot of DS9. Very little of the others. Oh, Ferrocapo. Well, I'm supposed to do something with him, but let's turn this in first, and then we'll do the Ferrocapo thing. Wondering where he was. The blood fanatics have been murdered for you. You're welcome. Poison Devourer, Protection, that's the one. So I think I'm going to stop here next to Ferrocapo and call it an evening. I should be back tomorrow at the usual time, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, middle of the night in Europe, morning in Asia, Australia, and New Zealand. I want to thank all of you, every single one of you, for hanging out. As always, I am very, very appreciative. I think probably tomorrow we'll come back and I'll do some more. We'll take Ferrocapo here. We'll get to see if we can take care of the other quests we have left. And then presumably head out into the post-Searing world. But that's the plan, I think. Again, I want to thank you guys for hanging out. It is genuinely appreciated. Hopefully you will see me soon. I hope the rest of your Saturday evening / Sunday morning goes great. Back back tomorrow. Take care, and ciao for now. Thanks again, guys, and bye.